But let's now focus on hygiene and germs. That's where we're bringing the focus. We have, new guests on stage with us. We have Rohit Shetty who's going to join us, and he's going to talk about how we're going to beat these germs and stop the spread, and talk about behavior as well. And before that, just take a look at this report where we take a look at how a little bit of carelessness can go a long, long way in spreading germs and infections. Take a look. All right, so there you saw how a little bit of carelessness can lead to the spread of bacteria and disease. Well, now on this segment, we're going to focus on hygiene and its importance. And joining us on this segment, we have Dr. Gagandeep Kang, top doctor, virologist. We have Rodrigo Offrin, WHO representative in India. We have on stage with us Dylan Gandhi, regional marketing director, South Asia Health and Nutrition Reckitt. And I think, Sanketan, we can take a break in this 1 hour because we have another anchor with us. He's co-anchoring this segment, Rohit Shetty. Thank you so much for joining us on this, on the telethon, on Swasth Bharat telethon.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And Rohit, in fact, when COVID spread, you did a little advertorial, little video that talked about hygiene and the spread of disease. And Mr. Bachchan was also in that video with you. So if you could tell us about, the thought behind it and also the reactions to it.
Actually, it all started because nobody knew about this new enemy, how to fight it. Nobody knew about it. And then we had a chat with the CM, with few doctors. And then there came a point that India, what is more important is if actors guide you or give you some information about how you can fight this or how you can protect yourself. And that's how we went to Mr. Bachchan and we made a video. I think, if I'm not wrong, it's been 18 months now. That was the first video which came out where basic guidance was given.
No, great idea, because I think in this country we really, if actors tell you do it, do this, do that, and like you said, we didn't know too much about COVID at the start, about behavior.
मैं आपसे सवाल पूछना चाहता था, आपने शायद पुलिस वालों की भी मदद की, उनके लिए उनके रहने की कुछ व्यवस्था वगैरह की थी होटल।
ग्रेजुअली हुआ
ये आपको क्यों सूझा कि जो असल जीवन के सिंघम हैं, उनको भी आप कुछ
प्रोटेक्टिंग द सिंघम
बचाएं। एक्चुअली जैसे जैसे वक्त गुजरा, लाइक मार्च वी वर इनटू दिस पेंडेमिक, लॉकडाउन शुरू हुआ, बाय अप्रैल मई वी स्टार्टेड लूजिंग अ लॉट ऑफ कॉप्स। हमने बहुत सारे पुलिस वाले हमारे ही सिटी में खो दिए। अराउंड 94 to 95 कॉप्स वी हैव लॉस्ट इन दिस पेंडेमिक। होता यह था कि वो घर नहीं जा सकते बिकॉज एग्जैक्टली उस वक्त वैक्सीन नहीं थी और किसी को ये पता नहीं था कि क्या करें। सबको ये था कि और दे वर ऑन फील्ड, दे वर ऑन रोड एंड हम सब घर में थे। अब उनकी भी फैमिली है, कहाँ जाएंगे? दे वर स्लीपिंग ऑन रोड्स, दे वर इन पुलिस स्टेशन। सो व्हाट वी डिड इज वी टुक एन इनिशिएटिव एंड वी बुक्ड अराउंड 8 hotels फॉर देम एंड वी वर लाइक यू डोंट नीड टू गो होम टू एंड we understand that you need to protect your family, which is very important. So they used to be on job, they used to be on their duty and then go to the hotels, rest there and come back. So this went on for around 6 months.
ये जो हमदर्दी है पुलिस के लिए, ये आपने क्योंकि इतनी सारी फिल्में की हैं, मुख्य किरदार पुलिस के होने के नाते, तो उस वजह से एक आपको उनके जीवन के बारे में थोड़ा समझ में आया।
आई थिंक मीडिया से एक जो पुलिस का हमारा कनेक्शन है, बिकॉज एज यू सेड फिल्मों की वजह से तो है ही, बट ये होता है कि वो बात किसको रखेंगे, तो वी वर इन टच विद देम एवरी सेकेंड डे। तो जब इस तरह की, और उन्होंने ये नहीं रखा था पॉइंट के हमें कहीं आप होटल करके दीजिए, ये हम लोगों ने डिसाइड किया, क्योंकि वो सिर्फ बताते थे कि आज क्या हुआ, वी लॉस्ट सो मेनी कॉप्स, हमने हमारे साथी को खो दिया, हम घर नहीं जा सकते। और फिर हमने वो इनिशिएटिव लिया कि हम, क्योंकि वो ही थे, अगर आप देखें तो बीएमसी, डॉक्टर्स, पुलिस, एसेंशियल सर्विस वाले वर्कर्स, इनके अलावा हम सब जर्नलिस्ट।
यू नो व्हाट रोहित इज सेइंग, कुछ ऐसी ही चीज़ हमारे जो मुंबई के बीएमसी कमिश्नर है उन्होंने किया था। डॉक्टर्स की कमी हो रही थी, तो बहुत से जो शिक्षा प्राप्त कर रहे थे या जो प्राप्त करके निकल चुके थे डॉक्टर से, वो बेकार थे, बिकॉज उनके कोई प्रैक्टिस नहीं हो रही थी, कहीं जा रहे थे, उनकी एजुकेशन चल रही थी, और वो अपने घर बैठे थे, उनको शायद 1000-2000 रुपये ऐसा ही स्टाइपेंड कुछ मिल रहा था। He got hold of all these young doctors, medical people, and said, I'm going to put you up in a 5-star hotel. I'm going to give you 15,000, 20,000 bucks per day. Come and work in the hospital. And this was a fantastic idea.
Oh, wow. Fantastic.
I.S. Chahal is the commissioner, municipal commissioner.
Yeah.
He did the same thing.
Speaking
And it
of
was
doctors-
greatly appreciated, yeah. So, Gagandeep Kangji, I just wanted to ask you, in the last 2 years, what is the most important thing that we've learned about, better protection from disease or a better protection for potential future pandemics? Because this is not the end of this pandemic, and a lot of people are saying it's going to be almost perpetual. So how can we prepare ourselves to keep away from it?
I think there are two things that we can do that really matter. The first is to build up surveillance systems that actually share data across the world. We don't have that at the moment. It's something that WHO has been calling for a while, but countries have a huge reluctance to share data, and this is not limited to genomic data. It's data on the number of cases, the number of severe cases, hospitalizations, death. In India, of course, we have a problem doing that within the country as well as outside. The second part is to be prepared for pandemics by making vaccines. There is a huge initiative right now to try and predict which are all the viruses, and the next pandemic will be a virus unless it is an act of bioterrorism. Can we identify the 20-25 families from which these viruses will come? And can we make vaccines ahead of time so that when the pandemic arrives, we can roll out these vaccines much quicker than we've done before? One of the initiatives that I'm involved with the group is to see if we can make a vaccine in 100 days instead of the 11 months that it took us last year. And with everything that science and technology has done in the past year, I think it's actually feasible. We just have to get everybody connected, talking to each other, sharing data and sharing the science.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
So my question is to Mr. Rodrigo. This pandemic has shown us critical importance of hygiene. Do you think that COVID has caused enough of a behavior change in this regard?
I'm sorry.
First of all, thank you. The hand washing with soap and water is an established, cost-effective public health intervention. Universal access to hand washing facilities with soap and water is even a sustainable development goal. The WHO and the UNICEF have been working on this, providing guidance, providing tools, helping out, set up hand washing facilities in as many places as they can be, whether they're schools, universities, hospitals, clinics, so that this goal is achieved. For India, community-based studies prior to COVID were suggesting that there was high knowledge and awareness around the importance of hand hygiene and how to do it, but there were not enough facilities. Now, well, there are no surveys currently, but there is really heightened awareness with this pandemic. And that is the momentum we need to leverage for hand washing. The idea that an individual can do something to prevent disease is a key message. Health promotion in its purest sense, this is what it is. And so we need to apply all the tools that we have right now. And as individuals, this statement is a call to all individuals watching that you can do something and prevent so many diseases with hand washing with soap and water.
Yeah. Mr. Dhiren Gandhi, I just want to ask you something. You know, it's incredible what a simple act of, washing hands can do in protecting us from this disease. In fact, this is something that Dettol, has been actively campaigning well before even COVID came about. And before you, we had, another member of your fraternity talk to us about how branding has changed as a result of this pandemic. And I found that quite interesting. I don't know whether it's a good marketing tool or what, because suddenly every product started using the word immunity. If you wash your hands, it's actually immuning yourself. Whereas it just used to be common soap, whether it's your shampoo, whether it's your floor cleaner. Suddenly this word immune has started appearing in all the brands. Is that just a marketing technology, or do you actually put stuff in there which provides immunization or protection from the pandemic?
Oh, for sure. I think if you look at Dettol has a very long heritage of killing germs and protecting against illness. And this is something that we've been doing for many years. To us, the pandemic was just another kind of inflection point to get the same message that we've been saying for many years across to people. Dr. Rodrigo pointed it out. The link between disease and wellness is very well established. I mean, or hand hygiene habits and disease is very well established. If you look at the CDC's data, it says that the more hand hygiene that is practiced, the less incidence of disease is there. For example, you can have lower incidence of diarrhea by about 40%, about 20% reduction in respiratory illnesses like cold. Absenteeism in schools can be reduced by 30% if these illnesses are taken into account. Our own school program has seen absenteeism drop by almost 40%. Now, what happens as a result of all of these, and this is a simple act of just washing hands. What happens as a result of absenteeism going down is school dropouts go down. And as a result of the school dropouts going down, there is progress towards, and that's actually one of the insights that we've used in our latest campaign, where we say simply that families that use Dettol regularly have members that fall ill less often, and that can lead to progress in your academic career, extracurricular activities, or in fact even your career. And this is something that's core to the brand, and I think that's what we stand for. I think the heightened awareness is what's caused a lot of people to start talking about this, and we welcome that, because the more awareness that's created, the better it is for the country and the economy of the country.
Dr. Roy had a question. Dr. Roy had a question about alcohol content in sanitizers. That really increased during during COVID, isn't it?
Used a lot. Also, alcohol. The term is used a lot.
Yeah, talk about yourself.
Disinfectants.
Don't include me into it.
No, in disinfectant.
Alright, that wasn't the question I thought you had, but let's
internals.
Okay, let's go across to Dr. Kang now. Dr. Kang, even as COVID cases are coming down in the country, there's still so much we need to do. There's so many diseases that we see recurring year after year. Influenza, dengue. We just had these terrible cases of dengue in Uttar Pradesh. So these vector-borne diseases, and here as well, it's hygiene that plays a key role, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. When we look at the water, sanitation and hygiene sectors, those are the ones that really make a difference to society and to disease. And that is in the community as well as in the hospital. If we look in communities, households that have the ability to have sufficient soap and sufficient water, have children that have less disease. Less disease means you go to school more often. You go to school more often, you get a better education and you wind up earning more. So it makes a huge difference to society if we can ensure that there is enough soap and enough water for everybody in the country. When it comes to sanitation, sanitation actually addresses a different set of conditions from water. And that relates to things like soil transmitted helminths and outbreaks of disease. For example, a lot of our food is contaminated because we don't treat our waste appropriately. So making sure that we have safe food, that we prevent soil transmitted helminths, comes from sanitation. So hygiene goes beyond the diarrheal illnesses and protects against respiratory illnesses as well. So while masking is a good thing when you have respiratory viruses, what I think a lot of people don't realize is that washing your hands and making sure that you don't touch your face too often can make a huge difference in preventing a range of respiratory infections. So making sure that we are washing our hands, making sure that we can put a toilet in every home, that we can provide sufficient water, and we can have behavior change so that people are doing the right things at the right time can make a difference in the community. And if we look in hospitals, antimicrobial resistance is something that is very well tackled by hospital hygiene. And when you have relatives who are admitted in hospitals, watch what happens.
Dr.
You
Kang,
will
I
see
just
that-
wanted to ask you something that you just talked about, a vaccine that could come in 100 days. That's just wonderful news. But I do worry about how you're going to do those critical phase 2, phase 3 trials in a short period of time. I mean, 11 months was necessary just to complete those trials because we don't want a bad vaccine ever to come out. That will create tremendous negative effects and vaccine hesitancy. So how in 100 days do you do phase 3 trials?
So the plan really is to make vaccines against specific virus families ahead of time that go through phase 1 and phase 2 studies before the pandemic hits. And then when you actually have the pandemic, if you need to rapidly modify the vaccine, you can do that with both vectored and mRNA technologies. And if you can also have the deep immunological studies that give you a correlate of protection, that tell you if we measure this, we know the vaccine is going to be working. Once you have a correlate of protection, you can do a vaccine easy in 3 months. What will slow us down is how long it takes for humans to respond to a vaccine. And if it's a 2-dose vaccine with a 4-week interval, you need at least 2 months to be able to make those measurements.
Which do you prefer, mRNA or vector-based vaccines?
Both. Both
No,
of them rely on
That's
signals.
an easy one. Which is if you had to choose?
So in terms of making vaccines fast, we can make vaccines fast across a range of different platforms. DNA, RNA, vector, really easy.
Which would you
And
like in your arm?
I've had the vectored vaccine. If I think about when and if a booster is required, the data that are coming up are showing that if you have a combination
Right.
of a vectored vaccine, which gives you really good cellular immunity, and an mRNA vaccine that gives you early and quick antibodies,
Right.
is probably the best combination. of-
Cocktails are always the best, right?
So
Cocktail.
combinations are best.
Alcohol and booze
No,
and
no,
cocktails
no.
and
Mocktails, sorry, mocktails. Vaxtails. Yeah. Sorry, that was a very interesting answer, actually.
Yeah,
For all of us.
I like the point about hospitals and the care they take as far as infection is concerned.
Right.
Patients who've been there, as someone who spent 25 days during my COVID,
Right.
the clothes are put in a separate bag, which was treated separately in a different room. And that kind of precaution in the hospital that I was in was just amazing. And because of that, even today, you know, Pranay, when I go to work, I come back, I shower, and I put my clothes to washing in a separate machine.
Yeah.
Just so that, you know, it doesn't...
Same goes with us.
Yeah, really?
Because we are also on field, so it's like
Yeah,
the same procedure.
I keep
You're
doing
always
that.
interacting
Clothes goes in
with
a
people.
separate
Yeah.
bag altogether.
And there's a lot
Behavioral
of, you
change
know...
Should I move
already.
away?
Yeah, move away.
Rohit, you had a question.
There's a lot of discussion and argument in the home, domestically. Why do you need two of them? You know, two washing machines. So I just have to explain this.
So I would like to ask
Good one.
Mr. Rodrigo again, like, as we learn to live with this pandemic, what are the keys, lessons for authorities to better manage this disease and health?
Okay, I think the first principle, let's lay it out as a principle, is to act together. We should be helping each other. Not all health issues or diseases are, not all solutions for that lie within the health sector. It can be in other sectors, as we have seen in this pandemic. A few specifics would be we must strive to get to universal health coverage, meaning that for a person, the access to a quality health care is affordable and available as near as it can be. And in India, the Ayushman Bharat has paved the way for this. It's a huge investment to reach so many people. And that's one. And that needs to continue. Two, we need to have a robust surveillance system, meaning that any unusual disease, any unusual outbreak of a regular disease, let's say dengue is increasing in a district, you pick it up right away so that interventions come right away. That can only be done through a very sensitive and robust surveillance system. Now, the next would be really looking at a strong health system. There has to be a base for all of this. A strong health system anchored on primary health care, that it is available at a very basic service. We have seen this in India, that there are health and wellness centers. This is the base for a strong health system. At the same time, training health care workers. The health workforce must be trained so well and supported. They should have their skills supported, PPEs, protective equipment should be there should something happen. And lastly, back to working together, public health is multisectoral. It's not just a Ministry of Health or the private healthcare sector. It is all other sectors that can contribute to that. There may be a clinic, but if it's difficult to access, maybe it is the transport and road sector that can help support that. So it's really bringing everyone together, because health is both a means and an end to development.
Well, thank you so much, Rodrigo Offren, for joining us, and Dr. Kang as well for joining us on the Swasth Bharat Telethon. And now we're going to take a look at something that we were just talking about when it comes to hygiene and how it can prevent disease. Here's a report from Shravasti in Uttar Pradesh, where Dettol has run a successful program for prevention and timely treatment of diarrhea among children under 5, something that's so important. Alok Pandey brings us this report.
Well, so one of the things that Dettol and Banega Swasth India have been doing successfully for the last many years is trying to prevent diarrhea among young children who are below 5 years of age, especially in India's aspirational underdeveloped districts. So I'm in Shravasti right now. This is a district close to the Nepal border. It's an underdeveloped area, and the intervention of Banega Swasth India here has been critical. I'm going to go here and speak with Om Prakash ji first, who represents Dettol. जो धरती पे, जो धरातल पे, ग्राउंड पे काम है, वो क्या है सर, ये बताइए।
जी, हमारा बेसिकली क्या है कि हम आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं अंडर 5 ईयर चिल्ड्रन को, उसके साथ में उन बच्चों में से अगर किसी तरह का इन्फेक्शन मिलता है तो उनको हम इंश्योर करते हैं ट्रीटमेंट। स्पेशली हम डायरिया के लिए, अगर किसी बच्चे को डायरिया है तो डायरिया वाले बच्चे को हम नियर बाई हेल्थ फैसिलिटी पे भेजते हैं और वहाँ से उनको ट्रीटमेंट इंश्योर कराते हैं। साथ में उनको मोटिवेशन करने के लिए एक वाउचर टोकन के टाइप में देते हैं, जो 250 रुपये उनको आने और जाने में मदद करता है, जिससे वो लोग सही हेल्थ फैसिलिटी पे जाकर के अपना इलाज करवाएं। और हम उनको इंश्योर करते हैं कि उनको 14 डेज का ORS और जिंक वाला ट्रीटमेंट जो है वो कंप्लीट कंटिन्यू करें।
तो किस तरह के चैलेंजेस आपको आते हैं डॉक्टर चंद्रदीप, आप उसको कैसे टैकल करते हैं?
जो सबसे बड़ी चैलेंज हमारे लिए है, जो 5 साल से कम उम्र के बच्चे हैं उनमें जो डायरिया की केसेस होते हैं, तो वो मोस्टली ऐसा करते हैं कि जो क्वैक्स हैं गांव में उनके पास जाके कुछ मेडिसिन ले लिए 1-2 दिन की टैबलेट्स, तो उससे क्या होता है कि उनका डायरिया तब के लिए बंद हो जाता है। बट डायरिया के जो एपिसोड्स हैं, जो उनका जो डिहाइड्रेशन का मतलब उस टाइम में इशू रहती है, उसके लिए वो ORS नहीं खिलाते हैं। एंड जो डायरिया के रिपीटेड एपिसोड्स उन्हें फिर फ्यूचर में होने वाले हैं, उसके लिए एक जिंक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट एक ये कंपोनेंट है जो उन्हें देना ही चाहिए, वो उन्हें नहीं मिल पाता, तो इसके लिए उनके एपिसोड्स बढ़ते हैं। तो हम ये इंश्योर करते हैं कि जो मतलब 5 साल से कम उम्र के बच्चे हैं जिनको डायरिया हो रहा है, उनके फैमिलीज को इस चीज के लिए अवेयर करें।
Thank you so much. So I have to say that this is just a health sub-center, but it's being maintained by the team here. And you can look, you can actually spot with your own eye how wonderful this all looks. I also have a few volunteers with me and a few parents here. So I just want to start with the volunteers. I'll start with you, मैम, आपसे बात करता हूँ। नेहा जी, ये बताइए, जो पेरेंट्स होते हैं, क्या वो आराम से आपकी बात मान लेते हैं या फिर थोड़ी मुश्किल होती है तो कैसे समझाती हैं?
सर, बहुत मुश्किल होती है, क्योंकि गांव में जाना पड़ता है, तो उसके लिए तो मुश्किल होती ही है। हाँ। लेकिन फिर हम उनको अपने तरीके से कन्विंस करते हैं कि हाँ, ये आपके लिए फायदे है, आपके लिए पैसे वगैरह मिलेंगे, फिर बच्चे आपके स्वस्थ रहेंगे। बस।
पुनीता जी, ये बताइए कि बच्चों को सही चिकित्सा और सही डॉक्टर मिले, एज अ माँ आपको ये कितना ज़रूरी लगता है?
हमको ये बहन जी, ये जो आ रही हैं बहन जी, ये हमको जानकारी दी। हम नहीं जानते थे, हमारे बच्चे को डायरिया हो गया था, हमको नहीं पता था, तो ये आई और हमारे बच्चे को सरकारी चिकित्सालय में ले गई और वहाँ दवाई करवाई और 5 साबुन दी हमको और वाउचर भी मिला, उसमें 250 रुपये, और हमारे बच्चा ठीक हो गया।
तो ये एक बहुत अच्छी बात है कि इस तरह से यहाँ पे काम हो रहा है और ऐसी कोशिश की जा रही है कि जो बच्चे हैं और जो उनकी माएँ हैं, जो उनके पेरेंट्स हैं, अभिभावक हैं, वो डायरिया जैसी बीमारी से अपने बच्चों को बचा पाएँ। और ये एक बहुत ज़रूरी चीज़ है, बहुत ज़रूरी अंग है हेल्थ केयर का, और शायद फुल मार्क्स हमें देने होंगे डेटॉल और बनेगा स्वस्थ इंडिया को कि इस तरह का काम यहाँ पे किया जाए। जब रहेगा तभी तो बनेगा संपन्न भारत, स्वस्थ भारत, जब रहेगा तभी तो भारत संपन्न बनेगा।
Welcome back. You're watching the Swasth Bharat Telethon, and we're talking about germs and hygiene, and we're now joined by someone who has a lot of experience in enforcing hygiene and sanitation of different kinds. We're joined by Kiran Bedi, former IPS officer, and LG of Puducherry, former Super Cop. Ms. Bedi, thank you so much for joining us. Now, during your time as LG in Puducherry, you've done a lot for hygiene and cleanliness, whether it was promoting hand hygiene in rural areas through SHGs with numerous cleanliness drives. You did cleanups around office buildings, water bodies, even beach cleanups when you were, out on your morning walk. So, tell us a bit about these initiatives.
The first step I took as a Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry was to give a clear message that dirty Puducherry is not acceptable. Puducherry is a hub, a destination for tourists. And the first duty we owe to the people of country visiting us is provide a clean and a healthy Puducherry. So once that message was gone and reiterated, then I took concrete steps. It wasn't just saying it, it was now doing it. So from the second day of my Lieutenant Governorship, I started to visit the dirty drains. The Grand Canal is one of its iconic historical Grand Canal, goes through the White Town or the city. I start to visit it and ensure that the municipal staff does its homework daily. Then I start to look after the sanitation staff, got the medical health cards, got them medically attended, ensured they get their breakfast in the morning, because most of the women would leave homes at 5 in the morning to clean up. So I made sure the nearby market association served them a cup of tea and breakfast. So I start to value my municipal staff. Once I start to value, which means being clean is valuable, then I was heavy on the people who were dirtying it. Then I didn't spare the people. So what business do you have to throw all your garbage into the drains? Many of them were throwing their carpets, the boris, the raddi in the drains. We now to start to penalize them. Start to name and shame them. I used to bike a lot only to make sure things are cleaner. So biking, rewarding, identifying, naming and shaming, through that volunteerism came up. In my cycling, a lot of youth joined in, the NCC, the NSS and the others. So I created a lot of volunteers and then walked the beach. When I used to walk the beach, it had to be clean. So now they were afraid that she may come at any time. So you see, it was supervision, cajoling, appreciation, participation, collaboration, all these things, people and the staff.
मेरा सवाल है किरण जी से। किरण जी, आप हमेशा कहते हैं कि क्लीनलीनेस और हाइजीन सिर्फ गवर्नमेंट की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी नहीं है। जब तक के लोग, यानी कि जब तक कि पब्लिक इक्वल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी नहीं लेगी, हमें इसका रिजल्ट नहीं मिलेगा। तो आपको क्या लगता है कि पब्लिक की एक बहुत बड़ी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है?
अरे लोग ही तो गंदा करते हैं, लोगों ने तो गंदा किया, गंदा करके उसको सफर करते हैं और फिर शिकायत करते हैं कि उन्होंने काम नहीं किया। तुम उनका काम क्यों बढ़ा रहे हो? उनका काम क्यों बढ़ा रहे हो? आप पहले प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट करते हो, फिर आप शिकायत करते हो। आप क्यों अपनी गंदगी सारी ड्रेन्स में फेंकते हो? आप क्यों नहीं अपनी डस्टबिन में डालते ताकि वो जो कलेक्शन करना है वो ले जाए? सो ये बहुत जरूरी है लोगों की कि अपनी प्रॉब्लम मत बढ़ाओ, क्योंकि आप कहोगे नेबर करता है तो नेबर करता है, तो फिर शिकायत सिस्टम होना चाहिए।
Kiran ji, this is Amitabh Bachchan. I just have a question. What would you say to the people who are watching today's show? Why they need to be particular about hygiene and what each of them can do in their own space and their ecosystems to ensure that there is a Swachh Bharat?
लेकिन स्वच्छ रहना तो अपना स्वार्थ है। आप स्वच्छ है तो सब कुछ है, अगर स्वच्छ नहीं, स्वास्थ्य नहीं। स्वच्छता और स्वास्थ्य एक हिस्से के एक कॉइन के दो हिस्से हैं। आप स्वस्थ हैं क्योंकि स्वच्छ हैं, और अगर आप स्वच्छ हैं तो स्वस्थ हैं, और फिर उसी से आपका धन और काम आएगा। लेकिन अगर आप स्वस्थ नहीं, स्वच्छ नहीं, तो धन नहीं आएगा, बल्कि धन आपकी बीमारी पे जाएगा। तो आपका स्वार्थ है, आपका स्वार्थ है आपका स्वच्छ रहना, आपका स्वार्थ है स्वस्थ रहना, तो ही आपके घर लक्ष्मी आएगी। अगर आप वैसे स्वच्छता में बिलीव करते हो, आपकी सोच भी स्वच्छ होने लगती है, आपका व्यवहार भी स्वच्छ होने लगता है, आपकी सराउंडिंग भी स्वच्छ होने लगती है, आप स्वच्छ भाषा बोलेंगे।
आई वुड लाइक टू आस्क दिलेन, हम बचपन से सुनते आ रहे हैं, हमेशा से, मतलब, और ये पीढ़ियों से चला आ रहा है कि हाथ धोना बहुत ज़रूरी है, हाथ को साफ रखना बहुत ज़रूरी है। इस पेंडेमिक में भी इतने सालों बाद, या मैं कहूँगा सदियों बाद भी, हम वही बात कर रहे हैं कि हाथ को स्वच्छ रखना बहुत ज़रूरी है। अब इसे हम और आगे कैसे लेके जा सकते हैं? जैसे आपकी रिकेट स्कूल्स हाइजीन प्रोग्राम जो चलाती है, तो हम और आगे क्या कर सकते हैं अवेयरनेस के लिए?
बहुत अच्छा सवाल है। जो ये डेटॉल का जो स्कूल प्रोग्राम है, ये एक हमारी जो विजन है उसके एकदम मुताबिक है। हमारी विजन है कि वी शुड प्रोवाइड a cleaner and healthier world. We should work towards a cleaner and healthier world. And the Dettol school program अभी 7 साल से चल रहा है, और इस 7 सालों में हम करीबन 2 करोड़ बच्चों को पहुंच चुके हैं, who are all primary school kids. And we have reached out to now 75% of the primary schools in the country across 16 states. And we have seen some very, very good results. I already talked about the fact that एब्सेंटिज्म स्कूल में कम हो गई है 40% से। जो हम सोशल ROI मेजर करते हैं प्रोग्राम का, वो भी काफ़ी हाई है। फॉर एवरी 1 रुपी दैट वी इन्वेस्ट, हमें 33 रुपये वापस मिलते हैं इन टर्म्स ऑफ बेनिफिट टू द सोसाइटी। And the most important thing, and we heard so much about, diarrhea is one of the examples of a disease that can be cured. And, the cases of diarrhea that can be directly attributable to the school program have gone down by 14.5%. But beyond this, as you also said, आपने जैसे कहा, हम कई वर्षों से हम बच्चों के माध्यम से ये मैसेज लोगों तक पहुंचाने की कोशिश करते जा रहे हैं, हमारे एडवर्टाइजिंग में, हमारे कम्युनिकेशन में। और उसके पीछे सबसे महत्वपूर्ण कारण ये है कि अगर हम बच्चों को आज कन्वर्ट कर सकें, तो not only are we making a more educated future generation, because they will carry these habits into their own adulthood, but वो आज के चेंज एजेंट हैं, वो आज भी अपने परिवारों में, अपने कम्युनिटीज़ में वो इम्पैक्ट ला सकते हैं, जिसकी वजह से हम ये सारे रिजल्ट्स देख रहे हैं। सो इसलिए बच्चों पे ध्यान देना, इसलिए जब आपके बचपन से हमारा मैसेज यही होता है कि खतरों के खिलाड़ी बनिए, but not when it comes to health and hygiene habits. There you should take care of all of those aspects.
I'll tell you something. This is not about
alcohol.
No. Washing hands. When I was at college, to earn a little pocket money, I got a part-time job cleaning cinema halls after people had left. Wow. And when I used to do that, the filth that people leave, they put chewing gum under the desk.
Yes,
I won't even tell you what the bathrooms were like. But having experienced that, I am so careful in a cinema hall because I realize what an unnecessary.
Yeah.
So I think people at a young age should be made to experience, clean up trains, clean up anything. Because when you do it, it's not a theoretical thing.
Yes.
You bloody faced it, and you see. I'm just trying to improve.
No. This is very vital. I'll tell you. And some of the things that the pandemic has done is that suddenly all your help in the home stopped.
Yeah,
so you're doing all the stuff yourself, and that's the time you realize
learn a lot. Yeah,
what a lot
Dignity
and what
of
their
labor.
contribution was
and how you just
in your
throw
daily
things,
life.
Yeah.
So whether it's cleaning your home, whether it's cleaning your bathroom, whether it's cleaning the kitchen, everything.
Yes.
And that's when you have a lot of respect for it.
Quite right. Actually,
So
that's
what you're
very
saying-
true. Went through when pandemic, people went through the same thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's in our school program. Actually, we cover 100 touch points of hygiene. So it starts with hygiene for self, but it also then extends to hygiene for the family and even the communities at large. And we do this with grades 1 to grade 5, or standard 1 to standard 5. And so I think I completely agree with you, sir, when you say that, it is important for you to experience it. That's one way of learning. The other is to be enabled with the knowledge. And using games and all of those are one way in which we create, make sure that this knowledge lands with the students.
सडनली इज्जत बढ़ जाती है, मैं बताऊं आपको।
बिल्कुल।
जब आप वो काम करते हैं जो वो लोग कर रहे होते हैं, तो आपको पता चलता है कि वो कितना गंभीर काम कर रहे थे, कितना महत्वपूर्ण काम कर रहे थे, और उनके लिए इज्जत बढ़ती है। आमतौर पर जब तक ये नहीं हुआ था, तो हम लोग जो हेल्प आता था, क्षमा चाहूँगा, हम लोग बोलते थे अरे यार चलो साफ करो इसको, ये नहीं किया, वो नहीं किया। I tell you, the whole attitude towards them has changed. And now you don't find addressing your help in the home in such a gruff manner.
Very good
because
point.
you have so much respect for the work that they do.
You're from Uttarakhand, and I really feel people just go to the hill stations, they just throw stuff,
Oh, it's such a huge
If
problem. Yes.
school kids could be made to pick it up, when they grow up, they'll never do it.
In fact, there are lots of these efforts. There are these treks that go out to actually, pick up garbage, pick up plastic
that
in
helps
the
a
hills.
lot. That
And
first-hand
again,
experience.
that whole behavioral change has to come about,
But you're
and
right
that
after the
respect for nature.
pandemic,
And
having to do it yourself, absolutely good point.
well, that brings us to the end of this segment, and thank you so much, Dhilan, and thank you so much, Rohit, for joining us and co-anchoring. And you gave us a real run for our money as far as anchoring goes,
worrying.
isn't it, Dr. Rohit?
Very worrying. All our anchors at NDTV are worried, He's going to come.
He'll be out of his job if you keep it up.
Out of his job, any language, any very nuance.
Bilingual, my God, bilingual anchors are like really something.
Very, very worrying.
Well, we've been talking about hygiene and bacteria, and let's talk about, taking medical help to, remote areas of the country. And now we're going to take you to the Sundarbans in West Bengal, which is, of course, home to the Royal Bengal tiger, but it's also home to thousands of people who live on the islands over there. And so we want to now show you this boat clinic that has been set up by Dettol that actually goes out there and provides medical care to those people living in these remote islands. Take a look.
The floating dispensary that is part of the Dettol Banega Swasth India initiative helmed by the Southern Health Improvement Samiti for villagers here who would normally have to travel 1.5 hours by road or by boat to the closest government hospital. This is relief and healthcare at the doorstep. Upstairs is where the doctor is looking at patients, and downstairs in this boat is where the hardware really is on both my sides. If Shankar could come forward, first of all, there is the ECG room where, believe it or not, apparently powered by solar energy, you can actually get an ECG taken here in the middle of nowhere. And then there is more. There is Nokul Babu, who is getting his oxygen intake. He came in to this boat gasping, 1.5 hours away from a proper government hospital. So this floating dispensary, a huge relief. And now even pathological activities going on here. Dhananjay over here, who works with Dettol. अगर storm आ गया, बारिश आ गया, तो solar का क्या होगा?
नहीं, उसके लिए इन्वर्टर, पावर बैकअप में इन्वर्टर है. अगर सोलर पैनल में लाइट नहीं है तो इन्वर्टर 24 घंटे का बैकअप वो रखेगा.
Meet mother and daughter, Kakoli and Shayani Ghosh. Shayani was born on the 19th of August at the closest hospital here at Goshaba, which is 1.5 hours away, either by boat or by an ambulance, which কাকুলি took.
অনেক দিন আগে থেকে ভর্তি হয়ে গিয়েছিলাম.
কোথায়?
গোসবা হসপিটালে.
কত দূর?
এখান থেকে অনেকটাই প্রায় ঘন্টা দেড়েক রাস্তা. ওই জন্য ঠিক মতন মানে সুবিধা থাকে না. এমন সময় এমন অসুস্থ হয়ে যায় যা ঠিক মতন আমরা গাড়িও ঠিক মতন পাই না. ওই জন্য আগে থেকে ভর্তি হয়ে গিয়েছিলাম ওখানটায়.
তারপরে হওয়ার পর এখন
এতে আমাদের খুবই সুবিধা হয়েছে. তার কারণ এখান থেকে ওখানে গিয়ে লাইন দিয়ে বাচ্চা নিয়ে দেখাতে আমাদের খুবই কষ্ট হয়ে যায়. অনেক সময় দেখানো হয় না, ফিরে আসতে হয়. এই জন্য আমরা এখানটায় এসেছি.
আর এখানটায় সুবিধাটা কি হচ্ছে? বাড়ির কাছে?
হ্যাঁ, বাড়ির কাছে. যেমন বাচ্চাটাও, বেবিটারও কষ্ট হচ্ছে না, আমাদের নিজেদেরও কষ্ট হচ্ছে না, এবং পাশাপাশি একটা সুবিধা পেয়ে আমাদের খুবই ভালো হচ্ছে. কাছে থেকেই আমরা তো সব পেয়ে যাচ্ছি.
So you can imagine Kakoli much relieved. Her house is just, about a 5-minute or a 10-minute walk away from here. Much easier for her to give Shayani the kind of medical attention she needs with the floating hospital at her doorstep. M.A. Wahab, the director of Southern Health Improvement Samiti, and what is the facility that are provided here that you didn't have before?
They gave us oxygen facilities. Previously we didn't have this. So this is actually, a symbol of love, a symbol of good people, good heart.
Bulbul, are you geared to attend to patients in the middle of the night, if there is an emergency?
Yes, we get call because today mobile is available everywhere and our local number is with the patient, and they give us a call for a mother delivery patient and we attend that.
For G.D. Shankar and me, who have travelled all the way to this village to watch this floating dispensary in operation, an eye-opening and heartwarming experience indeed. Back to you in the studios.
All right, so that was Monideepa showing us that boat clinic in the Sundarbans. Now, in the last segment, we were talking about hygiene and the role that it plays in our health and the spread of disease and what we can do to counter it. In this segment, we're going to now focus on science, because in this last year and a half, I think our respect for science has just gone up tremendously. Who could have imagined that a disease is discovered in a year and by the end of the year, you actually have a vaccine for that disease? I mean, it's been absolutely incredible, and it's also shown us the importance of doctors, scientists, researchers, all those people who are working behind the scenes to promote science. We're also going to talk about how we need to have more of a scientific mindset, encourage STEM education, that focuses on science and technology and engineering and mathematics. And joining us on this segment is someone who knows all about that, all about tech and the role that can play in, public health. We're joined by R.S. Sharma, CEO, National Health Authority and head of the CoWIN app. We're also joined by Gaurav Gupta, Chief Commissioner, Bruhat Bengaluru Mahanagra Palike. Thank you so much for joining us. And Ravi is back on the stage with us. So thanks for that, Ravi. But let's start off by asking Mr. R.S. Sharma about, the pandemic and countering it. And R.S. Sharma, do you think the pandemic has really changed the way we think about health and the role of science and technology in improving access to health? The CoWIN platform, for example, has been such an achievement in tracking vaccinations.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you that the pandemic had changed the way we look at not only health part, but everything else. For example, the virtual meetings, which are now a norm rather than the exception, have really been accepted, and it has become a norm now. Similarly, the health behavior also, people are doing teleconsultations in much more numbers. People are kind of doing video consultations with the doctors, calling video calls and showing their symptoms and stuff like that. So I think the whole digital has got a push. I mean, pandemic has been a disaster, but at the same time there is a silver lining.
This is for Mr. Gaurav Gupta. Can you tell us something about Precision Health Platform and the role that it played in helping Bengaluru fight the COVID?
Hello, I'm sorry, I did not get your question, sir.
I'm just saying that can you tell us something about the role played by Precision Health Platform in Bengaluru to fight the pandemic?
Well, Bangalore is a city which is a science and technology city, and there are a lot of migrant population, high tech population that is working here, and we have been working with various platforms to make all our programs reach out to the community. We have been actively working with the corporates. We have been working with the resident welfare associations. We have been working with the apartment associations, NGOs, and others to reach out to them and to emphasize on how prevention is very important when we are talking about COVID. So our objective is to see that nobody gets the infection, and so therefore and everybody is healthy. And to that end, we have been interacting with them, customizing our programs so as to reach out to the community and making them work.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Gargi Rawat here, and it's fascinating how technology is being used by all of you in the administration to counter disease and promote public health. If you could tell us what other kinds of health surveillance is the Bangalore Municipal Corporation working on?
Yes, we have been very actively working on health surveillance, COVID surveillance. Our objective is to see that we are able to pick up the trends very, very early. To that end, we have been taking up active monitoring of the cases as they come along. Hospitalizations in real time, both in the public and the private sector. We are also working on how to get the early results from the sewage sampling, which has been taken up. And this has also given us some kind of trend. We have taken up a sero survey for the city to understand the kind of seropositivity that is there among the groups. And we are also looking at how vaccination can be used as a very effective strategy around the high risk areas. So we are working on all of this. We have a 24/7 war room that is working actively for different streams through which we are taking up surveillance.
वो भी बंद हो गया. Thank you so much. एक और प्रश्न पूछना था मुझे आर्य शर्मा जी से. मान्यवर, ये जो नया एक अभियान अभी आपने इसका उद्घाटन किया है, आयुष्मान भारत डिजिटल मिशन और उसका यूनिवर्सल हेल्थ इंटरफेस जो है, ये किस तरह से हमारे स्वास्थ्य को ये बढ़ोतरी दे सकता है और कैसे इसमें हमारे जो स्वास्थ्य है और बेहतर हो सकता है इन कार्यक्रमों की वजह से?
हाँ बिल्कुल, देखिए ऐसा है, आयुष्मान भारत डिजिटल मिशन जिसका लॉन्च, नेशनल लॉन्च माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने 27 सितंबर को किया था, उसका उद्देश्य है कि हम टेक्नोलॉजी को, स्पेशली इंफॉर्मेशन और कम्युनिकेशन टेक्नोलॉजी का भरपूर इस्तेमाल करके हेल्थ सर्विसेज की क्वालिटी का, एक्सेस का और अफोर्डेबिलिटी का किस प्रकार से हम लोग बेहतर उसको बनाएं। तो ये मान के चलिए कि सुदूर जो एरियाज हैं हमारे, वहां पर कनेक्टिविटी हमारी पहुंच गई है, तो वहां के लोग टेली कंसल्टेशन के माध्यम से डॉक्टर्स को कंसल्ट कर सकते हैं, अपने डिजिटल रिकॉर्ड्स शेयर कर सकते हैं, डिजिटल प्रेस्क्रिप्शन प्राप्त कर सकते हैं और दवाई खरीद सकते हैं। तो एक प्रकार से पूरा जो हेल्थ का इंटरेक्शन है, हॉस्पिटलाइजेशन को छोड़कर बाकी इंटरेक्शन में इस चीज की मदद हो सकती है। और उसके लिए हम लोग हेल्थ आइडेंटिटी प्लस एक सुविधा जिसमें कि उनके सारे मेडिकल रिकॉर्ड्स, चाहे वो उनके अपने पास हो या चाहे हॉस्पिटल्स में हो, उनको हम उस हेल्थ आईडी से लिंक कर सकते हैं, जिससे कि किसी भी व्यक्ति का एक लॉन्गिट्यूडनल रिकॉर्ड, उसका एक इतिहास बन सके हेल्थ का, जिससे कि वो किसी भी डॉक्टर के पास जाए या टेलीकम्युनिकेशन करे, टेलीकंसल्टेशन करे, तो उसका वो लाभ उठा सकता है और उसको शेयर कर सकता है अपने अधिकार से। उसको शेयर करने का अधिकार स्वयं पेशेंट के पास ही होगा।
जी डॉक्टर शर्मा, एक सवाल मैं आपसे पूछना चाहता था। अभी कुछ दिन पहले एनडीटीवी पर एक इंटरव्यू में आपने हेल्थ आईडी के बारे में बड़ा विस्तार से उल्लेख किया और बताया कि ये लोगों का एक रिकॉर्ड बन जाएगा, तो ताकि डॉक्टर को बार बार पेशेंट से ये ना पूछना पड़े कि आपकी हिस्ट्री बताइए, आपके परिवार में डायबिटीज है नहीं। वो पूरा बच्चन साहब, ये बड़ी सही मुहिम है सरकार की।
मैं ऐसा मान रहा हूँ कि एक नया कार्ड भी निकल रहा है जो
हेल्थ आईडी कार्ड।
जी वही, उसके ऊपर जो QR कोड है, उसमें आपकी पूरी इतिहास, आपका जीवन
पूरा आपका हेल्थ से रिलेटेड जो है
जितना भी है वो सब उसमें।
मैंने शर्मा जी से ये सवाल पूछा, कुछ लोग आपत्ति कर दे तो कि मेरे स्वास्थ्य के बारे में इतनी जानकारी सरकार को क्यों, तो उन्होंने तुरंत बोला कि अनिवार्य नहीं, लेकिन अगर आप सरकारी लाभ लेना चाहते हैं तब आपको ये करना जरूरी। पर ये मुहिम बड़ी अच्छी है, तकनीक से सारा डेटा को जोड़ना, ये एक बड़ी जबरदस्त मुहिम है और गांव देहात में उनका ये कहना है कि ये बड़ा कारगर सिद्ध होगा अगर ये।
और दुर्भाग्यवश अगर कोई दुर्घटना हो जाए मान लीजिए, तो अगर ये आपके पास है तो तुरंत पता चल जाता है इलाज के लिए।
बिल्कुल, ब्लड ग्रुप से लेके आपकी पूरी हिस्ट्री सब कुछ पता चल जाएगा, जो कि उपचार में आपको मदद मिलेगी। लेकिन डॉक्टर शर्मा, मैं आपसे ये जानना चाहता हूं, इसी तरीके की कोई 3-4 तकनीक से जुड़ी हुई टेक्नोलॉजी ड्रिवन हेल्थ इंटरवेंशंस, इनके बारे में आप अगर हमें बताएं ताकि लोग लाभ ले सकें।
देखिए, 2-3 चीजें मैं शेयर करना चाहता हूं। पहला बात तो ये है कि डायग्नोस्टिक्स में जो आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस है और मशीन लर्निंग है, उसका बड़ा महत्व है आज के दिन में। आप ये देखिए कि कोई एक्सरे है, हो सकता है कि डॉक्टर्स उस एक्सरे को उतना अच्छे से एग्जामिन न कर सके, लेकिन आजकल जो आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस और मशीन लर्निंग की टेक्निक्स आ गई हैं, जिसमें कि बहुत सारे डेटा के आधार पर मशीन प्रेडिक्ट करती है, तो मशीन कैन बिकम एक हेल्प बन सकती है डॉक्टर्स के लिए, उनको बेहतर डायग्नोस्टिक कैपेबिलिटीज देने के लिए, एक प्रकार से उसको एनालिसिस की। पहली बात। दूसरी बात, टेलीकम्युनिकेशन, जो टेलीमेडिसिन है, तो टेलीकम्युनिकेशन के माध्यम से डॉक्टर से हम संपर्क कर सकते हैं। और तीसरी बात, हिंदुस्तान में हम लोगों ने ऐसे डिजिटल आर्टिफैक्ट्स डेवलप किए हैं जो बिल्कुल इस प्रोसेस को हार्मोनाइज कर देते हैं। जैसे कि आपने डिजिटल आइडेंटिटी है, उससे आप स्पष्ट कर सकते हैं कि आप सचमुच में एक जेन्युइन पेशेंट है और दूसरी तरफ आप एक जेन्युइन डॉक्टर हैं, जिससे कि एक प्रकार से ट्रस्ट और कॉन्फिडेंस बिल्ड होता है। उसी प्रकार से डिजिटल सिग्नेचर का जो ई-साइन की जो टेक्नोलॉजी हम लोगों ने डेवलप की है, उसके माध्यम से आप रिमोटली डिजिटली साइन कर सकते हैं और डॉक्यूमेंट्स को शेयर कर सकते हैं। उसी प्रकार से हम लोगों ने जो डिजिटल लॉकर की टेक्नोलॉजी है, उसको कर सकते हैं। डिजिटल पेमेंट्स का बहुत बड़ा यूपीआई का एक काम हुआ है देश में, तो उससे हम डिजिटल पेमेंट डॉक्टर्स को कर सकते हैं। आप मानेंगे कि जब ये टेलीकम्युनिकेशन कोई कर रहा है, टेलीकंसल्टेशन कर रहा है, तो ऑब्वियसली वो कैश में पेमेंट डॉक्टर को नहीं कर सकता, तो डिजिटल के माध्यम से पेमेंट कर सकता है। तो ये जो सपोर्टिंग जो आर्टिफैक्ट्स है, सपोर्टिंग जो काम हमने किए हैं, उन कामों के माध्यम से हम लोग ये सुनिश्चित कर सकते हैं कि हमारा ये जो डिजिटल आयुष्मान भारत डिजिटल मिशन है, वो निश्चित रूप से सफल होगा। करना यही है कि प्रत्येक अस्पतालों को, डॉक्टर्स को जो हेल्थ रिकॉर्ड के डिजिटाइजेशन का जो काम है, उसको एक्सीलरेट करना पड़ेगा, जिससे कि वो रिकॉर्ड जो है मशीन रीडेबल, शेयरेबल, इस प्रकार के रिकॉर्ड्स प्रोड्यूस हो सके। और मुझे लगता है कि हमारे देश में इस प्रकार का एनवायरनमेंट मौजूद है। विशेषकर कोरोना के बाद उत्पन्न हुई परिस्थितियों में ये संभव है कि हम लोग अपने सारे डिजिटल प्रोसेस को बड़ा पुश इस दौरान हुआ है, और उसी पुश को हमें आगे ले जा करके इसको लीवरेज करना है, इस कठिनाई को हमको अपॉर्चुनिटी के रूप में इस्तेमाल करना है।
Thank you so much, Dr. R.S. Sharma, for joining us. Yes, absolutely.
And the amount of new technology in health, even a watch now, this one tells does an ECG and a BP soon. It's just, and the mobile phone in villages, they can tell about 27 different problems you may have, one of them.
And that's really the way forward. We have to use technology in health, especially and getting, medical facilities to
but
people.
Really, Ravi? The important thing is that despite the fact that there is technology and it tells you all kinds of things, please do consult your doctor before you start taking independent.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, don't become a Google doctor, for sure.
That diagnose your illness, tell you what you should be doing.
Never do that.
Never.
Very good advice, yeah. Very.
In fact, Dr.
गांव
Sharma
देहात में
talked
बहुत होता
about
है, लोग अपने आप ही दवाई फांक लेते हैं।
बिल्कुल।
know what
Forget
Dr. Sharma
gowns.
talked about this
Your
long
friends will
distance
tell you,
stuff.
oh, you got that, have
this
something.
medicine. Yes.
And
But he's like-
unfortunately in India we do that a lot, and that's what happened in the second wave with people taking steroids just because your mother, your father, your neighbor was taking steroids. You started
And you had
taking
white
steroids
fungus,
on the
black
first day.
fungus also.
And it was terrible. But Ravi, if you could tell us, since we're talking about technology, what is Reckitt doing? How are they using technology, to make healthcare more accessible?
Yeah, as we have, shifted from Swachh India to Swasth India, it becomes more important to have the digital health records. So the work what we do, this has three kind of interfaces what we have. The first interface is, validating the results through the blockchain technology, which we use in Maharashtra on our public health work. Second is, we have created something called AI bot. It's called Hello Jubi. So Hello Jubi is used by the kids in the schools. There's a big consenting mechanism. So anything on growing up, if you want to know, that bot
what
gives.
Is it?
So Hello Jubi is an app, is an AI-based chat bot. So you put your questions, it gives you the leads, it gives you the right answers, so that children have not to go to the X number of sites which are prohibited or which are
And
not
like
to be
Mr.
visited.
Bachchan just pointed out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Super
like
protected.
Mr. Bachchan just pointed out, could lead to misinformation
Yes.
as well, like online. So.
Third thing is our work on India has a very huge number of key population groups who are impacted and affected by HIV, and there is a huge number of high risk group in India. So there is an app which we have worked on called Protect QI. In your leisure time, you can actually sit on the app. It takes you around 2 minutes to give answer to 10 questions. It will tell you how much risk you are at. You should go to the nearby HIV testing facility, which all facilities are there nearby. And this is very, very useful because sometimes you don't have the right kind of guidance available, who has to go and when one has to go. So this is also something which we have, recently started. Last but not the least is the digital recording of the cases. Like this, a whole, discussion which we were just having. It's super imperative because every time you go to the doctor, वो बोलता है बच्चे का history taking ही नहीं होता है. India has a huge problem of history taking, especially the patient load is very high in the public health facilities. So if there is a QR code, if there is a card, basic parameters, basic details are there, resulting into not asking those same kind of similar questions, saving the time. You can process each patient fast, resulting into you can see the patients better. And results I don't have the record now, if a child had diarrhea, how many times in last 2 years?
So this is very key, and this is something the government is doing
Yeah,
as
so
well
there's a big
with
interface
that.
between the two things.
Very good.
All right, we were also joined by Dr. Aditi Hazra, Associate Epidemiologist, Brigham and Women's Hospital and Assistant Professor of Medicine at Harvard Medical School. Thank you so much, Doctor, for joining us on the telethon. And there's so much scientific lingo that we've all picked up in this last year and a half. But if you could explain to us, what is genomic sequencing? When when you're talking about coronavirus, there's the original virus, then there was alpha, there was all the other viruses. Delta, of course. If you could tell us about the importance of genomic sequencing.
Absolutely. It's good to be with you. Genome sequencing is technology that we can use to understand the complete sequence and order of all the genes that make up a living organism. Humans have 3 billion DNA bases. The COVID-19 virus has 30,000 RNA bases, and these bases are represented as chemical letters A, C, G, and U. And so these 30,000 sequences made up the original coronavirus. As it spread from person to person, it was replicating itself, it was copying itself. And occasionally it would make an error in that copy, like a spelling error or a typo in a text message. And that can have a different meaning. And so we have seen during the spring surge that the Delta variant is one of these mutations that allows the virus to be more transmissible. It is attaching to the human cells more robustly, and it has some immune escape. And so we see that variant is now the dominant variant worldwide. And although other variants are emerging, sequencing allows us, it is using technology to detect it sooner so that we can bring localized quarantine, mitigation, and vaccination efforts to reduce the burden of the spread.
Aditi Hazarji, you know, we all know that the future of healthcare around the world depends a lot on surveillance of the kind the Commissioner was just talking about, being able to understand scale and scope of spread. Now, India has one of the biggest surveillance systems in, let's say, cholera, polio and AIDS, but it is not strong enough elsewhere. Would you agree?
India has such fascinating capacity. There are men and women that I've worked with during my volunteer work that have the ability to sequence. What India needs is additional sources of funding and reagents to help build the capacity and continue this work. The consortium INSACOG in India has 10 labs and sequenced about 60,000 samples. They are now adding another 18 labs, and the private sector is going to get involved to also increase sequencing. And you're absolutely correct, sir, that it has been used, technology has been used for polio and other pathogens, and it allows us to detect it early because we are chasing the virus without sequencing. Once we sequence it and we know which variant is spreading, we can get ahead of it by bringing the mitigation measures to that localized area.
Yeah, the key word here is detection.
Yes,
right. To get it detected
Early
in time,
detection.
what you were saying just
Test,
now.
track and treat.
Yeah,
That's
a lot
what
of
the
people,
government
and a
said.
lot of these diseases are silent killers, where people just don't know. Diabetes, for example, and they never know, and suddenly you've collapsed. So detection is very important, and to keep going time and again to get it detected is very important.
अदिति हजरा जी, आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। अब हमारे साथ हैं राजस्थान के स्वास्थ्य मंत्री रघु शर्मा। शर्मा जी, सबसे पहले मेरा सवाल आपसे ये है कि अगर आप हमें ये बता सकें कि टीकाकरण अभियान के दौरान राजस्थान में आपको मुख्य चुनौतियां क्या आई? अभी थोड़ी देर पहले हम यहाँ पर मंच पर बात कर रहे थे कि किस तरीके से या तो लोग, दोनों ही चीजें खराब हैं, या तो लोग बिल्कुल स्वास्थ्य सेवाओं से कट के रहना चाहते हैं, या एक दूसरी समस्या ये है कि लोग अपने ही डॉक्टर बन जाते हैं, खुद ही इलाज कर देते हैं कि ये फलाना दूसरे को बता रहा है कि ये दवाई फांक लेना, इससे हो जाएगा। रघु जी, आपको मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
नॉर्मल इम्यूनाइजेशन प्रोग्राम चलता बच्चों के लिए,
हाँ,
उसमें 3 तरह की कैटेगरी हमारे यहाँ होती है। एक तो लोग बीच में एक बार लगाया, दूसरा टीका छोड़ के चले जाते हैं, तो ड्रॉप आउट अलग है, लेफ्ट आउट अलग है और प्रोटेस्टर्स अलग है। कुछ सर्टेन एरियाज में ये धारणा है कि टीका लगाने से हमारे बच्चे की ये खराबियां आ जाएगी। हम लोग उनको, क्योंकि एजुकेशन की कमी है उन एरियाज के अंदर, कुछ रिलीजियस सेंटिमेंट्स की वजह से भी कुछ एरियाज में ये जो इम्यूनाइजेशन, नॉर्मल इम्यूनाइजेशन, वो नहीं हो पाता। अभी जैसा कोविड वैक्सीनेशन हमने किया, कोविड वैक्सीनेशन में राजस्थान में बहुत ही शानदार तरीके से हमारे कोल्ड चेन पॉइंट भी थे, स्टोरेज सेंटर भी थे। लोग पहले थोड़ा डरते थे, लेकिन बाद में ये गति अभी 78% से ज्यादा फर्स्ट डोज हमने लगा चुके हैं और करीब 39-40% सेकेंड डोज हम लगा चुके हैं। अब धीरे कम हो रही है, आगे भी आ रहे हैं।
मैं अमिताभ बच्चन, एक प्रश्न पूछना था आपसे कि कैसा अनुभव रहा है इस महामारी के दौरान और किस तरह की सीख हमें मिली है, खास तौर से राजस्थान में, जिससे कि यानी कि प्राइमरी हेल्थ जो है उसकी जो सुविधाएं हैं खास तौर से ग्रामीण स्थानों पर, उसके बारे में कुछ बताएंगे आप हमें?
देखिए सर, बार बार आईसी एक्टिविटीज हमने की कि आप मास्क लगाइए, हाथों को सैनिटाइज करिए, 2 गज की दूरी बना के रखिए, आप भीड़ में अनावश्यक रूप से एकत्रित मत होइए। फर्स्ट वेव जब राजस्थान में आई सर, एक दिन में हमारे
शर्मा जी का जो सिग्नल है उसका स्वास्थ्य ठीक नहीं है। ये कनेक्शन ठीक हो जाए। वो हेल्थ मिनिस्टर जरूर हैं, लेकिन उनके उनके जो इंटरनेट की जो बैंडविड्थ है उसका स्वास्थ्य जरा गड़बड़ हो गया, लेकिन अभी वो वापस आ जाएंगे तो उनसे एक सवाल पूछेंगे। रघु शर्मा जी, बीच में आपका सिग्नल चला गया था, आप जवाब दे रहे थे, अपना जवाब दे लें।
तो फर्स्ट वेव के बाद लोगों ने सोच लिया कोविड चला गया, और कोविड गया नहीं था। हम लोग बार बार उनको कह भी रहे थे, लेकिन लोग शादियों में इकट्ठा होना, दूसरे फंक्शंस में, पॉलिटिकल प्रोग्राम, इलेक्शंस, लोगों
रघु शर्मा जी के पास जाएंगे अब से थोड़ी देर में। एक बार ये थोड़ा ठीक हो जाए, एक सवाल उनसे और भी, उनके राज्य में एक सवाल,
I know, very important question that we wanted to ask him.
मैं इंतजार कर रहा था मैं उनसे पूछूं। राजस्थान ने पटाखों पर बैन लगा दिया है
till 31st of January. And this is it, keeping in mind a third wave of COVID being anticipated, and you can understand it's not a very popular decision among the public. Yes, experts and doctors have all been asking, you know, for
ये पूछ ही लेते हैं। वो एक बार फिर से वापस आ गए। एक बार रघु जी, आपकी सरकार ने ये फैसला लिया है कि आप पटाखे पर बैन लगा दिया है, अपने पूरी तरीके से प्रतिबंध है, रोक है, और इसको लेकर के राजनीति जो होगी वो बात अलग है, लेकिन किस तरीके से ये एक महत्वपूर्ण मुद्दा है, ये सवाल हम उनसे आगे भी पूछते रहेंगे, लेकिन गार्गी आप कुछ बताना चाह रहे थे।
All right, well, we're now going to talk about hygiene games and a way to inculcate good hygiene practices and also teach children something. So here's a look at how Dettol has come up with a STEM learning kit for kids that keeps them safe as well as it's hygienic. It's called a Hygiene Buddy Kit. Take a look.
जी बिल्कुल, कोविड पैंडेमिक के दौरान हैंड हाइजीन हमारे जीवन का एक अभिन्न हिस्सा बन गया है। पहले भी एक ज़रूरी चीज़ थी, लेकिन अब और ज़रूरी है, और ख़ासकर हमारे बच्चों के लिए, क्योंकि अब स्कूल्स उत्तर प्रदेश में और कई जगहों पे खुल गए हैं, और इसलिए बच्चों को ये सिखाना कि हैंड हाइजीन और हाथ धोते रहना बहुत ज़रूरी चीज़ है। ये एक चुनौती भरा काम है, क्योंकि बच्चे चंचल भी होते हैं थोड़े, इसलिए अगर आप गेम्स के थ्रू उनको ये बात सिखा पाएँ तो इससे बड़ी कोई चीज़ नहीं है। और बनेगा स्वस्थ इंडिया इस बार वही कर रहा है, खासकर यूपी के सरकारी स्कूल्स में, जैसे हम लखनऊ के नरही इलाके में एक सरकारी स्कूल में हैं, और यहाँ पे इन बच्चों को एक गेम के थ्रू ये सिखाया जा रहा है।
ये किट है हमारी, ठीक है। किट के अंदर हमारे पास बहुत तरह तरह के गेम्स हैं। उनमें से एक हमारा गेम है सोपी डो गेम। ये जो सोपी डो है ये पूरा घर के चीज़ों से ही बनाया जाएगा। हमारे पास इस किट में है थोड़ा सा तेल, हमारे पास है थोड़ा सा हैंड वॉश, फिर हमारे पास है कॉर्न का स्टार्च जो कि होता है मक्की का स्टार्च। हम शुरू करेंगे इस गेम को। 3 चम्मच आटा इसमें डालें बोल में, साथ में इसमें पड़ेगा थोड़ा सा ऑयल और डेटॉल का लिक्विड हैंड वॉश। अब हमें इन सबको आपस में मिलाना है ताकि हम एक साबुन बना सकें, जो कि घर का बना हुआ साबुन होगा। बच्चों के लिए बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है। तो थोड़ा सा इसका कंसिस्टेंसी ऐसे हो जाए कि साबुन की तरह ये बंधने लगे। इसको हाथ में लेंगे और थोड़ा सा इसको शेप देंगे। ये देखिए हमारे पास एक सोप रेडी हो गया है। ये बच्चा घर पे बना सकता है, 2 मिनट का अंदर गेम है, इंटरेस्टिंग है और सबके लिए यूज। तो हम अपने प्रोग्राम में ये करते हैं कि हम अपने हैंड हाइजीन के बारे में जितने इनोवेटिव तरीके हैं, जितने इंटरेस्टिंग तरीके हैं, वो बच्चों को बताएं।
हाथ धोना कितना ज़रूरी है आप जैसे छोटे बच्चों के लिए?
क्योंकि जर्म्स होते हैं हाथ में।
अच्छा, तो जर्म्स को हटाने के लिए क्या करना चाहिए बताओ?
हैंड वॉश।
मैं आपसे भी बात करना चाहूँगा सर, अगर आप यहाँ आ जाएँ। मेरे ख्याल से आपने ही ये गेम्स बनाए, आपने हेल्प किया इसको डिज़ाइन करने में।
अब की बार आइडिया ये था कि किस तरह से हाथ धोने की विधि, जर्म्स को भगाने का तरीका एक साइंटिफिक एक्सपेरिमेंट के साथ जोड़ दिया जाए।
डॉक्टर ज्योत्सना, ये बताइएगा कि कितना इम्पॉर्टेंट है कि हम ये मैसेजिंग रीइंफोर्स करते रहें, खासकर फन एंड गेम्स के थ्रू।
पिछले 6 साल में हमने देखा है कि स्कूल एब्सेंटीज़म, डायरिया का रिडक्शन, ऑल दिस has happened in our program areas because of the reinforcement that our program partners do on the ground of hand hygiene. And COVID के टाइम पे तो हमारा यही भरोसा था एंड हमारा यही थोड़ी गर्व की बात थी कि एटलीस्ट हमने इतना एसेंशियल स्किल ऑलरेडी इतने सारे बच्चों को सिखाया है और उन्हें याद भी है। 2 साल के बाद भी हम जब फील्ड पे गए हैं तो बच्चों को याद है कि व्हाट इज़ द करेक्ट वे ऑफ हैंड वॉशिंग।
थैंक यू सो मच।
थैंक यू।
बच्चों को अगर ये एक एंटरटेनिंग तरीके से दिखाया जा रहा है, अगर एक खेल के तरीके से दिखाया जा रहा है, तो शायद उनके जहन में ज़्यादा दिन तक रहेगी। जैसे डॉक्टर ज्योत्सना ने भी कहा कि 2-2 साल तक बच्चे याद रख रहे हैं कि उनको कैसे हाथ धोना या हैंड हाइजीन कैसे करनी है। ये बहुत बड़ी उपलब्धि है, छोटी बात नहीं है, और इसीलिए इसकी जितनी सराहना की जाए उतनी कम है।
और आलोक कितना खुश था, वो भी तो मन से तो एक बच्चा ही है हमारा आलोक।
बिल्कुल।
Dr. Jyotsna from Reckitt and Dr. Komal from Plan India, I would like to request you to please come on stage with what is a hygiene buddy kit. So what is this kit? Let's see.
Dr. Roy is also.
I'll hold it for you. Thank you so much.
Ravi, you might want to tell us what is there in this kit.
Yeah, sorry. They are the inventors, so let them tell themselves.
So what we have here is the Hygiene Buddy kit that we co-created with kids. The idea being that we make learning fun and we try to bring in some elements of STEM learning into hygiene. So it's not
And
just
STEM
about
learning, if you could just explain science and
So STEM learning is basically the emphasis on science, technology, engineering and math. More and more across the world, people are realizing that these are basic skills that kids need to inculcate, because when you emphasize on STEM in education, critical thinking, being able to connect different dots, and we're also trying to, we have this kit here where kids have a chance at experiential learning, and these are pretty advanced topics that we talk about when you're talking about education, and we're bringing it to the last mile. And again, everything is leading to our mission to leave no one behind. And with this, what we have, also the advantage is also that kids are touching and feeling ingredients. These are child safe, easily available at home, and we're pretty happy with this.
Would you like to show us what's in there?
Yeah, but before that, Sanket, technology is there on this box also.
Kaise?
If you don't have a facilitator,
There is a QR code.
there is a QR code. You can just put your phone on this. You can just press it, and in multiple languages, it actually gives you the options state-wise. So state-wise QR codes are there in Odia, in Hindi, in Tamil, in Malayalam. So you go there, click it, and someone will tell you like how to play this game. This is done by these two doctors. So you can now show like.
So what is this? This is the material.
Yes, sir. So this is the cooking oil.
I'll help you.
This is the cornstarch. This is a bowl to mix the things. This is squeezy. This is spoon. And this is also sourced from
My next employer is Dettol, of course. Helping them out so much.
I must say.
All right. So this is the bowl, and you put this powder in there. And you use the oil. And you mix it up, as we saw in the video.
It's just a minute of 2 minutes.
What is this squeezy?
So this is the hand wash.
Hand wash.
Asha, this is the hand wash.
So you make it together.
All right.
After that, kids make it as a Play-Doh. They can play with this. They make germs out of this. They make various shapes, sizes. You can add some color also in this.
What fun.
It's all fun, learning by
And eventually
doing.
becomes soap.
Yes.
It becomes soap, and it can be multiple times also.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it can.
And this is also sourced locally from the local self-help groups.
Okay.
So that it's all, it's all paperless. This is also recycled. So we have moved to in the direction where we are moving towards sustainability through the programs.
Wow.
And both of them have worked with the kids on ground.
Fantastic.
So the idea came from the kids and they shaped it further. That's how it works.
No, this is brilliant. So this is basically DIY soap.
Yeah.
Yes,
For
absolutely.
children. Yeah. Fantastic.
So you're having fun and you're
You want to
learning.
have it signed by sir?
Yes, sir. I will just put it back in there.
That is in the box?
Yes, sir. And the picture also for the shot the doctors. Please come here. Come. You can hold the box. You give it to me. Straight.
Thank you. Just show it here.
All right, wonderful. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, doctors, for coming and joining us and telling us about this. Well,
Lovely.